An example of tree pose would be to rest one leg, bending it open. Another example would be to take it between the ankle and knee. You can also take a variation to stand with it right on the inner opposite thigh bone. Index fingers and thumbs can touch for full Vrksasana. Another way to practice tree pose is to take this as a bind. This is a little bit more advanced and requires stability of the knee. So if there's any knee sensitivity, you can always skip this. A great way to practice this advanced variation is to take yogic toe lock with hand to toe, bring one hand to the heart center, and then from there, you can practice leaning all the way forward, maybe even holding onto your ankle. Dandasana, staff pose. Sit with your sits bones planted underneath you, fingertips out to the side. You can also take the arms straight up to feel the connection between the crown and base. Lotus pose. To practice a lotus pose, you can start with one leg going on top into the hip bone, and then you may take another leg and place it on top. If there's any knee sensitivity, you can always skip this posture. Mountain pose. Mountain pose is a standing pose in which the palms face forward, the shoulders are stacked over the hips, and the head is lightly floating above the shoulders. To feel this grounding variation, draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chin to maintain space for an apple between chin and chest. Mountain pose allows us to feel grounded within our bodies and connected to the consciousness and the expansion above. Bound angle. Bound angle is a variation where we can hold the ankle bones, lift the heart, and from there, pour the heart forward. It is integral to maintain a neutral spine in this variation rather than rounding the back. Goddess pose. The feet are wide as if you're taking a second position plie, and you can bend the knees directly over your ankles, bringing the hands and thumbs in line with your head, elbows in line with your shoulders. This is one variation of goddess pose, also called horse stance. A second way to practice goddess pose is to take this example. In this variation of goddess pose, you'll need a bolster and a few blocks or bed pillows. You'll take one block about 1/3 of the height down from the bolster. Place the bolster right over it so the head is supported, and bringing the soles of the feet together, just as we did for bound angle. You can reach your seat back so it lays against the bottom of the bolster and prop the knees so that way the outer thighs are prevented from overextending. Rest your hands, the index fingers and thumbs to touch lightly on the ground. Close the eyes. If you'd like to cozy into this shape, a lovely way to experience this asana and to feel the satisfying effects is to place a blanket directly over your body. To make this more luxurious, you can always add an eye pillow if you'd like. Easy pose. Easy pose gets its name because literally we cross at the ankles. We find a place where we can easily sit. Sometimes it's nice to prop our knees up and just cozy in to this state. Lizard pose. If your knees are experiencing any sensitivity, a great way to get into lizard pose is to place a blanket underneath your knee. Lizard pose starts us out in a front lunge. Step your front leg forward and heel toe your front leg a little bit outside of your hip. You can bring blocks underneath your hands for support, maintaining shoulders over your hip bones. Second variation or option is to lower the forearms down to the blocks. Of course, the third variation would be to lower your hands all the way down to the earth. To make this a little bit more intense, you can tuck your back toes and lift that back knee off of the earth. Resting pose, or Shavasana, is our final pose. I like to cozy in by bringing blocks underneath the backs of my legs for this posture. You can bring out your trusty blanket, cover yourself up, and then from here, let your head rest back with the arms facing up. Let yourself rest, relax, and find stillness here.